T&T, we back. Logging in and see that. Wins and losses, crazy crosses, holding one. Talking golf and rolling one. Got me coughing every weekend, so it's often. And I'm dropping every week. Name the topic we can speak. From the Rockets to the Heat. Well, the Rockets to the net. Slick, weird, big beer.
All right, y'all, everybody. Good morning. This T&T Sports Podcast, episode number 133, man. First, again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Last episode, man, for 132 with my wife, man. I got a lot of good feedback off that episode. It was great, man. It was great. I really appreciate y'all, man. Thank y'all again for that. Yeah, man, so we back, man, for 133, episode 133, man. It's a lot of stuff been happening this week in the football world, man. College and the NFL, man. We'll just go dive in, man. First thing first, Alabama, University of Alabama, man, my home state. Nick Saban retired after 17 years, man. Let's talk about it, man. So, he had 17 seasons with the Tide. He passed Paul Bell Bryant. You know, he did a lot for that program. So, definitely not gonna take away from him. Best coach ever to do it, collegiate. He just know how to win. That's just his MO. Now, my honest opinion is, you know, of course, he's in his 70s now. So, of course, it's time for him to retire and enjoy time with his family because he's been doing it for a long time, man. And I'm going to just really speak on it, man. But, you know, no matter what fan you are or what team, Nick Saban is the top-tier elite coach to ever do it, man. You can't take that away from him. Even he said that, you know, it's been a tough season for him, man. It's weighing down on him, man. And I even said when he announced the retirement, it's a transfer portal. The transfer portal is playing a major part in him retiring. I don't care what nobody says. We can argue that. The transfer portal is not allowing him to get the 5-star recruits that he, you know, once used to get all the time. You know, he can get a whole stack of guys at each position and hold them, and then the other one gonna just move up. Now these guys are getting opportunities to go other places. It's a lot, you know. Not just the transfer portal, the NIL deals as well. That's why, you know, think about it. He left Miami, the Miami Dolphins, man. He got $1 million egos. It's a lot for him. He got control of that. So that's going back to the NIL deals as well. So NIL and transfer portal, I feel like have a factor in him retiring. That alongside he is getting older, which, you know, it's time for him to spend time with his family being in the 70s. But again, you can't take from what Nick Saban has done for that program. You can't do it at all, man. But I wish him the best, man. They got a new coach. I'm gonna get into that in a minute. You know, they were looking at Dabo, which would have been a good choice. You know, a lot of fans was like, no Dabo, no Dabo. Wouldn't you want somebody that beat the best coach in the national championship? Like, it don't make sense. But obviously, people don't know football. They just, you know, going off emotions and feelings, which I don't do that. You know, I'm a sports guy. I'm not gonna go die hard over a team. I'm gonna go with the facts and the knowledge of the game of football. So Dabo would have been a good choice. You know, we were looking at Landon for Oregon, but obviously he said he was staying at Oregon. He wasn't leaving. Of course, man, Coach Steve. I can't pronounce his last name, from Texas. We know he wasn't leaving. And people were saying D'Amico Ryans. We know he wasn't leaving Houston either. That wasn't gonna happen. But they did go get Caleb DeBoer from Washington. Now, if you don't know about him, you know, he made it to the national championship, man, against Michigan, which he lost. He fell a little short too, but, you know, his record speaks for itself, man. His record speaks for itself, 104 wins, 12 losses. That speaks for itself, man. Been following this guy for a long time. He obviously knows football. At the end of the day, man, you want a player's coach. You know, so you want somebody that's going to, you know, get the best out of his players and, you know, live up to the hype, you know. And no matter what coach they pick, you got to support it. You know, it wouldn't matter if they gave it to anybody. You know, even if they gave it to Florida State coach, you would have to ride with it and support if you're a true quote-unquote fan. So you're not in control of that, man. But, man, the boy going to make a lot of noise at University of Alabama, man. And I tell people all the time, Nick wasn't always an SEC coach. If you know your history on Nick, and if you know your history on football, Nick Saban coached at Michigan State and other different teams. He wasn't always in the SEC. So just because people saying he didn't stay in the boy didn't stay in the Big 12, he lost at the biggest stage. No coach has started top tier. That's like a coach going to the NFL. They didn't start off in the NFL, majority of them. So y'all got to give people a chance. Y'all got to know the game. People got to start somewhere. Again, Nick did not start from SEC, right? So I mean, I'm just letting y'all know the basics. Argue down you want to, he can come in and make some noise. It's a chance he can come in and do better than Nick. We don't know yet because the odds was against Nick when he came from Miami. He left Miami, so they come straight to Bama. So man, I think the boy gonna make a lot of noise, making that, basically he just got a promotion, coming from the Big 12 to the SEC. SEC is great football, but Big 12, Pac-10, all those, that's all good college football, man. You can't deny none of those programs to accomplish what he accomplished to make it to that level. So you definitely want somebody on that caliber to get the job done. So I think that's a good choice from Bama. I'm looking forward to seeing what he do. I'm a big fan of the players and a big fan of the coaches. I'm not a fan, just die hard Alabama. I like to see that. I feel if the players and the coaches leave, that's who I feel sorry for. I mean, not leave, but if they lose in a major stage or a big game, they lose, and I know they put their blood, sweat, and tears in that game, not the fans. So I feel sorry for the coaches and the coaches and the players. They're the ones who playing, and putting blood, sweat, and tears and taking time out their day and not being able to party. If you go to college, there's a lot to do in college, but those guys are committed. They're on scholarship, so they have an obligation to fulfill. So I feel sorry for the players and the coaches that lost those games, not no fans. So I would never sit there and go back and forth about fans, about any team, no team. Cause I'm not out there benefiting from none of that. I love the Saints, but I'm not gonna argue nobody about it. At the end of the day, they lose a game, they getting a check. I'm not. So I'm not gonna sit argue with nobody about no team. I feel sorry for any. I don't care if I don't like a team or whatever. I feel for those guys that's playing. Them guys out there trying to make a name for themselves and make it to the next level. So that's my whole thing with that, man. So like I said, Nick, well done, man. You did a top tier job. You're the most elite coach to ever do it, man. Coming all the way from Michigan State to this, you made history. So, and also he played DB in college as well. If you didn't know that, so just add Coach Caleb DeBoer on top of y'all list, man. I think he's gonna make a lot of noise, like I said, man. But it's been an interesting week, man, in football, man. Besides Nick, that was just small. Bill Belichick, he was out. He out as the Patriots coach, man. The Patriots head coach. He had 24 seasons, 6 Super Bowls, man. That's wild. And keep in mind now, if you look at the similarities of Nick and Bill, they pretty much the same coach. Keep in mind, again, if you know your history, Nick Saban coached under Bill Belichick with the Cleveland Browns. I'm just saying, if you know your history, he coached under Bill Belichick. I would post pictures. I would tell. I'm a football mind. I know college pro, all that. Nick coached under Bill Belichick with the Cleveland Browns, so he got a lot of his coaching styles from Bill. But Bill respect Nick as Nick. But keep in mind, as Bill put Nick out there, Nick put many out there as well, right? So Nick gave a lot of people chances to be successful. So I mean, we gotta give Nick his justice, man. And Bill Belichick, man, I don't think he out as retiring. He talking to other teams as well. I think. I just think it's time that the Patriots want to change. So that's what the Patriots gonna do. But they did hire a new coach. They got one of the assistant coaches coming up, man, moving up. He also, I can't think of his name, man. I can't think of his name at all. But he's one of the new coaches. He moved up. Jared. Dang, I can't think of his name. It's Jared. I know, but he was drafted in 2008. And he was a linebacker, I believe. But he was on the coaching staff as well, so he moved up. Now he's the head coach of the Patriots, man. Come highly recommended. I'm sure from Bill Belichick, man. So congrats to him. I haven't never seen a black coach for the Patriots, so that's dope, man. I think that's a dope move, man. But the funny thing is, man, I saw on Instagram, man, somebody put, I think on Instagram or X, formerly known as Twitter, it said 2 old heads who don't give a damn what anyone else thinks, breaking down CFB and NFL games each week. So basically, they're saying those two guys should have a podcast together, Nick and Belichick. You think I wouldn't tune into that? I would definitely tune into that. That would be super lit. So I would definitely watch that podcast. So that definitely needs to happen, man, for sure. But, But like I said, man, Bill Belichick and Nick Saban, they was on the same sideline for the Cleveland Browns back in the day. Again, he was under Bill Belichick, man. He learned a lot from him, and like I said, they both under the same coach, man. But man, it's been besides that, that was the big thing, man. But the Falcons fired their coach, Arthur Smith. They fired him. Pete Carroll, he's out with the Seahawks. He's out. I think he'll still be with the organization doing things, but as head coach, he's out. The Titans head coach Mike Vrabel, he's out. It's a lot of happening with these coaches in the NFL, man. Transfer portal people, even with Bama, people backing out. Commits, they decommitting from Bama now since Nick gone. So it's been a while. I say week. It's been a wild week. Shout out to my homeboy Zach Hill, my brother, man. I'm proud of you, man. Zach was a DB coach at Auburn University, man. Also, he played for Auburn. Fellow Alabama native, man. He's making a move to Houston, man, on the football side, man. Proud of you, man. Keep going. There's a lot of stuff going on at Auburn as well. I don't know what, but two of the top tier coaches from that program has resigned and going to other destinations. I know Zach going to Houston, but I don't know where Cadillac going. Cadillac also resigned. I think Cadillac resigned first, but they leave from under Hugh Freeze, Auburn head coach. But Cadillac did post from Auburn Tigers on al.com. I love Auburn. I love the players. AU family with all my heart. But this decision is what is best for me, my sons and my wife and my sons, Cadillac Williams. That's what he said. So that was breaking like 2 days ago, I believe. But yeah, man. I mean, I don't know what's going on with that program, but like I said, I'm the type of guy I love to see people with opportunities. I love to see people get other chances to thrive and move up. So man, shout out to Zach, man. I'm proud of you. Keep doing what you're doing, man. I can't wait to see what Cadillac go land that, man. So we're gonna see what happened with those guys, man. And also NFL draft coming up soon as well. So just a real quick thing, man. Ohio State football wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. has declared for the NFL draft. He announced on Instagram, I think it was Wednesday. So he Marvin Harrison's son that played for the Colts back in the day, man. Great player, man. Great player. Mimic his dad a lot. His dad, Marvin Harrison, man. He's definitely going to make a lot of noise in the league. So that's top tier caliber, man, for sure. Let's move to the national championship, man. Now, shout out to Jim Harbaugh. I called that they was going to win, the national championship. I called that. They played against Washington. They played against Washington. They won the game. They won the national championship. Now it's looking like that was Jim Harbaugh's last game as the Michigan coach. So we gonna see what happened to that. And I think my personal reason is for liking Michigan. I always kind of like Jim Harbaugh because he gave Colin Kaepernick a chance. I had a respect for him then when he was in San Francisco. But also, man, he gave my big brother a chance to tackle his dreams, man. My big brother coached. Well, he was an analyst at the University of Michigan, man. So he was a Wolverine, once upon a time, man. He was a coach. He was on the staff. So it was a fan of Jim Harbaugh for just giving my brother the chance to, tackle his dream. So I have a personal love for that program and Jim Harbaugh, man. But obviously they're saying that was possibly his last game with the Wolverines. But they're saying that he speaks with the Chargers now in the NFL. So he's going to make a leap back into the league. Now, if you don't remember Jim Harbaugh, him and his brother was the first brothers to ever go in the Super Bowl when they played in New Orleans. His brother is the head coach for the Baltimore Ravens, which they are doing very well right now in the NFL right now, man. So I'm anxious to see. I keep y'all updated on what I see with Jim Harbaugh. We'll see what happens in the upcoming days. I'm sure something will happen very, very rapidly, expeditiously. Moving on. Texas Quinn Evers to return for the 2024 CFB season before go NFL draft. So he's returning back to Texas. So, I guess he want to increase his stock. I feel like he can go pretty early if he go now, but he gonna increase his stock. He gonna stay. We gonna see what happens with that, man. But definitely had a great year. Had a top tier year. Played great, excellent football. And the whole team of Texas, man, they played, man. Coach Steve, that's one of the top tier coaches who was also under Saban as well at once upon a time. Saban gave him a chance to, reinvent himself, and, look what he had now. So Nick has gave a lot of guys chances as well, right? So, and going into this, USC quarterback Caleb Williams wants assurance that the Bears will be trading the first overall pick before declaring for the draft. Williams and his camp have no interest in playing in Chicago. Now, my thoughts on that with Caleb Williams, yeah, he's a great quarterback, great football player. Definitely, early first round, easily, top 3 pick. I'm not for sure if he first round material, maybe. But I like Marvin Harrison Jr. We will see where we go with that. But honestly, my opinion, I don't like the fact that these guys get a say in wherever they go, right, in the NFL, man. Like Eli did it, yeah, but it's not coming. So I feel like it's no hunger. It's no hunger. Like I'm the type of person, if I still did play football, man, I got the opportunity to go to the NFL draft, I'd be happy if a team picked me. Honestly, man, you get that opportunity that a lot of people don't get, and it's a lot of people that played the game of football that didn't get the opportunity to make it to the NFL, and they were good. They were good enough to make the league and make some noise in the league, but they just never got the opportunity. They never got the right looks. Just never got the right opportunity, and I just feel like you should be thankful for the opportunity to even go to the league. Say maybe you can go to that franchise and bring it up. You know what I'm saying? So that's just my opinion. I know me. Like if I had the opportunity to get drafted, I'd be like, anybody draft me. Like as long as I get drafted, let me go in there and prove myself and then make myself valuable. And then if something may open up where I can request a trade or this or that. And I feel like you gotta honor yourself sometimes, man. But if the Bears picking him, they're saying Caleb Williams just probably gonna stay in college another year, I guess to increase his stock, or just not get picked by the Bears. And he said a whole bunch of stuff like he wanna parts of a team's stock or ownership or something like that, man. But I don't know, man. I'm just humble, you know what I'm saying? And I think the NILs it's a good thing. But it's pros and cons to NIL. I'm glad these guys getting paid because they deserve it. Being a college student, it ain't easy. If you went to college, it ain't easy. So you gotta, you struggling, in college, man. You trying to make ends meet in college. So I don't know, man. I just feel like NIL deal has its pros and cons, man. It gives players the opportunity to do what they pretty much want to do. They can say whatever they want to a coach. I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that, I'm still getting paid, blah, 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 what, you know what I'm saying? So, but, at the end of the day, I'm glad these guys are getting paid because they need it. But these guys making millions. Look at Shadir Sanders, they making money. Caleb Williams making money. These guys getting commercials. It's like, shout out to Big Fade, man. He played at LSU back in the day. On my podcast a while back. He played with Nick Saban as well at LSU. But, honestly, I wouldn't even worry about the draft. If I'm making this money in college, I wouldn't even worry about the NFL draft. I'm going to get my education because I'm making the money pretty much what they close to making in the NFL. These guys getting commercials, endorsements. Shadir got endorsements with Actively Black, Beats, all type of endorsements, Ford, Chevrolet, Nissan, like all these commercial, Hamburger, Raising Cane, restaurant, all everywhere, movie everywhere. They getting all these endorsements, man, and just, I would just stay and get my education because at this point, you're making close to what these guys make. These guys millionaires, Travis Hunter, all these guys. So, I would just take my time, man. But I'm a very humble person. I'm very appreciative, man. Any opportunity to come my way, man, I'm gonna take it and be thankful for it because at the end of the day, he can go back. He can be like, I'm not going to Chicago Bears, and go back to USC and get hurt. His stock will drop. Nobody gonna want him. So, I'm going to take advantage of the opportunity to come my way. Like I said, going there, if the Bears do pick you, oh well. Go in there and prove yourself and then, increase your value. And then if the opportunity comes where you can request a trade, do it then. Get in the door first. That's just my thought. That's just my thought. But, we'll see what Caleb Williams do with that decision. But, again, like I said, the NIL deals, it has its pros and its cons. it has its pros and its cons. Now I'm gonna jump into the basketball side right quick. If you watch the Bulls Ring of Honors last night, man, it was crazy. They were honoring the Cross family, and Jerry Cross. If you know, he was the guy that brought the teams together for 6 rings with the Bulls, man. And you know, he died, but so his wife was there too, you know, in his honor, and they called his name. They booed him and her, so she was just crying and waving. Which Cross, you know, you watched the Michael Jordan Last Dance. Now you heard some things about Cross. You was like, dang, you know what I'm saying? Like, dang, man, what's up? But you know, I don't think that was right for them to, you know, boo his wife, man. And she a widow. You know, she's still dealing with her husband's death, and you know, she's a little older. You know, I think it should be some upper class respect. You know, I mean, he did bring 6 rings to the Bulls. He got the teams. He didn't play or you know get on the court or anything like that. He brought those teams together, man. So just a respect thing, man. You know, you can't fault her for what he did or whatever the case may be. But I mean, we seen what he did on the Last Dance, but I wouldn't boo his wife, man. That was kind of senseless and it was really sad. So Steve Kerr, the Golden State Warriors head coach, who also played with the Bulls with Jordan and Pippen and Kukoc and Grant and Harper and all those guys, man, with Jordan supporting cast as I call them. He states that it's shameful. It's absolutely shameful. I'm devastated for Thelma and the Cross family, which I agree. You know, a lot of the Bulls announcers said the same thing. This is not what Chicago Bulls is. This is L.A. or New York or any other team, but this is not Chicago. So, yeah, I mean that was very, very, very disappointing, man. I'm very, very sorry for them. You know, that was embarrassing for that for the ladies to do that, for their fans to do that to her again. So, but yeah, it's been a crazy week in sports, man. It's been crazy, man. And I think the biggest one was uh, the Nick Saban retirement, man. I mean, that caught me off guard. But you know, then again, I thought about it. I'm like, man, this Nick Saban era gonna be over with soon. I knew it was coming soon, man. You know, I'm pretty much never wrong when I think about stuff. So I like it's coming to an end. It had to come to an end. Like I said, he in his late 70s, he in his 70s, and you know, he can't coach forever. He been coaching, years. He coaching for years, man. It was time. It was time for him to, you know, spend time with his family. You know, he married. You know, if you know, 17 season was just Alabama. That's not including all the other times he coached. You know, he did bring a national championship to LSU as well. And LSU fans they still bitter about him leaving and him going to Bama. But you know, I think LSU fans should let that go as well. You know, I'm always big on bettering yourself. You know, go to the next opportunity. But 17 years just for Bama, right? I mean, that ain't including LSU, Brown, Michigan State, and all the other coaches. Place he coached at. So, I mean, it was time, man. You know, if you know coaches that make those transitions, man, they spend a lot of time from home. You know, they spend more time with their players and other coaches, and also in their programs more than they spend at home. So I mean, it's a sacrifice. You know, they sacrifice being away from their families, their kids. I mean, Nick kids was some of them even born yet when he first started coaching. So his kids grown and got kids now. So you know, that was a major sacrifice to be away from your kids and your wife that many years. You know, and you only seeing them every blue moon. And you always on the field, you know, on the gridiron, coaching. You know, you basically taking care of other kids opposed to your own at that point because you spend more time with them. So it's time to spend time with his family, his grandkids, and his wife, and get them time now, man. So again, I don't care what team you support. Nick Saban deserves his flowers. He was the best to ever do it, man. He coached a lot of greats. A lot of greats, man. It's a lot of greats that made it to the NFL. Hell, some in the Hall of Fame that he coached. So, I mean, he pat on the back, flowers. You can't take that from him. I don't care. Auburn, you can't sit there and say, you can't say nothing. You know, nobody can say nothing. The guy did his job. And that's what he got paid to do his job, and he did his job very, very well. But my hat's off to him, man. My hat's off to him, man. It was a great honor watching you, you know, be a competitor. You know, he was a great competitor, man. He knew how to win ball games. He knew how to, you know, influence the younger guys that played the game and the coaches as well. You know, he got people on next level as far as coaching and playing. And he would go back and get some of his players that make it to the league and let them be on the staff. So, you know, he did his due diligence and became very, very successful, man. But I heard a lot of great stories about Nick. I talked to a lot of people that played for Nick. You know, he told me a lot of great stories, which they said he did call his players. He didn't call them by names. He called them by jersey numbers. You know, he called them 72 or 5 or 6 or 8, 18. He'll say, you do something like, God damn, 22? Just. So, man, I heard good things about Nick, man. You know, he was a big disciplinarian, man, which, again, that probably played a part as well. You know, these younger kids are not going to take the discipline that a lot of us has taken. You know, in our days, times change. So, I mean, they follow more to the younger coaches now, man. These guys are more, we cool. These my guys, my homies and stuff like that. They're on that level now, man. So it's different, man. So it's a whole different era now, man. But then hat off to Nick, man. I hope you enjoy retirement, man. But we're going to wrap this episode up, man. I gave y'all a little bit, man, a little knowledge, a little something, man. But again, man, respect to Alabama players, man. Respect to the coaches. Respect to Milroe, man. Let me talk about him for a second. Milroe, man, is a GOAT, a young GOAT, man. To bypass the adversity that he been through, man. Coach tell him he not gonna be a good quarterback, find another position. He proved him wrong. So just his story alone is crazy, you know. So definitely shout out to Milroe, man. Keep doing your thing, man. You gonna be top tier. You already top tier, but you definitely gonna be a first rounder, man. Just keep doing what you're doing. And keep letting naysayers know. So, but yeah, man, it's TNT Sports episode number 133. Y'all have a good morning.